to our March City Council meeting. And if you will stand, please. Councilman McElroy will lead us in our invocation.
Dear Lord, thank you for all our blessings and thank you for all the people here for this meeting. Please give this council guidance in the decisions they have to make, and please bless us with a little more moisture. Amen.
Amen. And Councilman Parker will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you all. We do have a quorum. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. So we will call this meeting to order. At this time, we welcome our visitors, and we have some special guests, so thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for our law firm being here also. And so at this time is a moment to receive any public comment, for an opportunity for visitors and guests to address the City Council on any issue that they may have. And so we'll allow that.
I think this would be a good time for our Scoutmaster to introduce his guests.
That would be great. And let us know what you're doing.
Let us know why you're here.
Yes, exactly.
Be glad to. This board's working on a merit badge. It's a citizenship of the community. One of the requirements is for them to attend either a council meeting, a board, school board, or county. So that's why they're here. Right here we have Rolando Estrada, Isaiah Rosales, Nathan Craig, and Antonio Lopez.
Well, thank you for being here. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you, Mr. Brunson, for doing that. All right, if there's nothing else, we'll go on with our agenda. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the council meeting of February 11th.
Motion to accept the minutes of that one.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, unanimously passed. Thank you. The second thing on our agenda is to consider a request from the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce for hotel motel tax funds for renovations to the chamber facility. Mr. Brunson.
Thank you. The chamber, I know in your packet, you'll see an estimate the chamber received for mostly it's painting the outside, it's just some repairs to the deck, and put some oil on the deck for a little over $16,500. They have looked at that, decided they could do the work if they had the materials supplied, and I think this meets the hotel motel tax usage under the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The hotel motel tax fund is doing well. We certainly have the money for this project.
That was going to be my question,
Yes.
because I didn't want to leave anybody out
No.
as far as what we
No.
have funded.
So this would be in addition, above and beyond any other anticipated projects that we would have.
That sounds awesome. And is it among their board members that would be doing the work, or just different volunteers?
Volunteers and board members, but they assure me they have the people lined up to do some of those things. In fact, they've already started doing some of the work. Okay.
Wonderful. I hear a motion.
Normally we have a kind of a limit that we go by, or are we going to?
Yeah, that's something that we can discuss.
I think this is just an $8,000.
A total request of
Yes.
$8,000.
Just $8,000 for the material. Yeah.
Not a
No,
problem.
this will not be reimbursed on receipts like we do with other projects where we're paid for advertising and promotion. We need to see those receipts and make sure that they are actually advertising and promotion. This will be more like the funds that we give annually. But it'll be in addition to those funds.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any other questions? And I will make a motion that we grant the $8,000 to the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce for renovations.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next item on our agenda is to consider the rate and fee schedule for the Muleshoe Country Club. Mr. Brunson?
You'll see in your packet there the membership application form and also the membership change form and the fees that are associated with either new members or a member who, because of new classes now, choose to move between classes. And the fees for doing that and the rates for those, and we can get as detailed as you want to get in that. I worked with the country club board, and they gave a little and I gave a little, and we came up with this negotiated schedule. And I think it's fair. I think it keeps the club accessible to the public for reasonable fees. One thing that is not on there is the green fees for daily play. Those fees were raised by the board of directors last fall or last summer. They're going to be lowered back to what they were prior to that change, and I can't tell you exactly what those are.
That was my first question.
Yeah,
So whatever that was before
afraid
it
it would be.
changed.
But they will revert back to somewhere around, I think about $28 for weekend play.
I think that's right.
With the card.
14 for rent.
Yeah, with the
the
card.
card.
So
That includes the card at 28.
I think that's real close to what it was. Yeah. That's weekend. Daily, weekday play will be a little cheaper than that.
And weekend is that going to include Friday evenings, Friday afternoons? Or?
I'm not even sure when they start the weekends.
And did the 28 include card?
Yes.
I wasn't sure.
Yes, yeah, that's green fee and card, and I'm not sure how it's broken out.
I know we have the new golf member that's been added to it. Are the fees and the initiation and the monthly fees and all that, are they pretty much in line with what they were previous, or reduce any?
The full member is exactly where it was before. $400 initiation fee is $90 a month. The associate membership is the same as it was before. Actually, the golf membership is the only additional and RE fee change. Where we had some discussion was if we had a full member who wanted to move to a golf membership. And some of the discussion, well, they've got to cancel that out and do another initiation fee, and we negotiated some of those.
That was gonna be my question. If you move from one status to another, do you pay that initiation fee?
If you go down, it just says
If
there's
you go down,
a
it-
$50 admin.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, there's a $50 administration fee.
But where it says,
But if you move from full membership to a golf membership, you don't have to pay another initiation fee.
so whatever status their person
Yeah.
is in or family's in,
Right.
But if you go the
came
other
in as a
direction-
golf member, there's a $200 initiation fee to do that, which they set that up, and this was a county club. That for a new golf member, $200 initiation fee. After 12 months, then they will apply half of that initiation fee as credit. And if you stay 24 months, you get the other half. So in essence, you don't pay any initiation fee.
And that is toward your monthly dues.
Yes, it's credit toward the monthly dues.
for someone who's brand new?
Yes. And the reason for that, for the initiation fee at all, is so we don't have 3-month members in the summer. People that want to join in the spring and then back out in October. So I thought it was pretty innovative on their part to come up with an initiation fee that's actually refundable,
Provided you
stay 2 years.
And the forms look good and they're easy to read.
Well, they really didn't have a form, and I helped them.
Well, I appreciate all of that, because it does make a difference when you can read in there and kind of
Yeah.
figure out, okay, this is what this means, this is how much this is, and
Yes.
those things like that, so that makes a difference. Thank you for all that work.
I'll make a motion to accept this membership application.
Well, actually what you're approving, in the lease agreement that we entered into with the country club, the part of that agreement was that the city council approved any fees that they had. Right. These are the fees that they have and asking for your approval.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve those.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next thing on our agenda is a narcotics detection canine program presentation. And we have Chief Rice and Officer Edwards here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Mr. Brunson. Okay, excuse me, I want to introduce Heath Edwards, which y'all know better than you do me. But since I've been here, Officer Edwards has come along and done a lot of initiative in the department. He's got a unique position in the department in that he kind of feels detective and patrol. And now he's wanting to take on another adventure and career assignment. That's the canine. And since some of this, well, most of it came to him in his dream, I'm going to let him start off and explain to you how this came about, why this came up again, and what our plans are for this program. So I want to let him do most of the talking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, Mr. Brunson. It was brought up to me by a gentleman here in the community. Wish that we pursue another canine program here in Muleshoe. It's been a while since we've had one. And through talking to him over time, the comment was made that he would donate a certain amount of funds toward a canine program. After talking with Chief Ross, Lieutenant Parker, and Sergeant Crandall, we decided that we were going to try to incorporate a program back in the city. Not as a, more of as a assistance to the department. Not only that, but to get, I mean, we're all aware that there's a bad drug problem in Muleshoe. But I'm a firm believer that if we start at, these kids' ages here, and work up, then, it can assist with removing that problem. We're wanting to make drug programs back in the school, which I believe Chief Ross has already talked to superintendent there at the school. And he's a firm believer in it and welcomes us with open arms back into the schools. And so through donations, through generous citizens and businesses here locally in town, we have come up with the funds to start another canine program back here in Muleshoe. And again, incorporate that in the schools. To give you a kind of idea of what we're looking at more of a sport breed, lab, Springer type dog, which is with a passive alert, meaning that you can get a canine in two different alerts. You can get it in a passive alert, and you can get it in aggressive. Being that it's a passive alert, when it alerts on narcotics or any form thereof, instead of scratching at whatever it's alerted on, it will just sit down. Whereas an aggressive alert will, for instance, if it was alerting here on the front of the field, it would sit here and scratch the front of this thing. Alerting on the vehicle, it's going to sit there and scratch the paint up, which could bring liability to the department. So we're staying away from that. We're looking at the strictly passive. The only thing it does is it sits. The reason we're looking at a sport breed, lab / Springer type dog is that, I could bring it in here, I could take it to schools, we can take it to churches, wherever we want to take it. Kid can walk up, pet it, just like a regular animal, it'll keep on doing its job. Whereas, there's other animals that, other dogs that, probably would do the same, but in a school setting, if you get a Belgian Malinois, German Shepherd type animal, they may have the aggressive appearance. Maybe the nicest dog in the world, but they have the aggressive appearance. Kids may tend to be scared of them, so that's why we're looking at a lab. Lab's a friendly dog, and we're just trying to get it started back here in Muleshoe. Any questions?
The funds that you're talking about, are they funds to get it started or to keep it going for as long as?
The funds that we've received is the initial cost of the dog and the handler training. Due to having a canine in the past, the police department still, or city of Muleshoe, specifically the police department, own most of the equipment, the high dollar equipment, as far as kennels, cages, and stuff like that, that are required to be involved in a canine program. The only expenses that we would be looking at is your veterinary expenses. Dog gets sick, injured, ill, any form or fashion. Your food expense, which on average, talking to some other agencies and departments, you're averaging about a 50-pound bag of dog food every 2 to 3 weeks. And then of course you've got, your handler training and stuff like that. But most of the training that we'll do will be done on duty. So.
What's the service life expectancy of an animal?
That just depends on how well they're, one main thing is how well they're taken care of. On average, speaking with Mike Clemenson out of Hill Country Dog Center in Pipe Creek, Texas, and seeing dogs in the past, average, just on average, the average life expectancy of a canine dog working is probably 6 to 8 years. And again, that goes back to, whether they get injured on the job, it may shorten that. If they get, some kind of disease or anything like that. But on average, 6 to 8 years would be a life expectancy of working canine.
With a passive dog, are you gonna have a vehicle kennel?
Yes, sir, we are. But again, due to having a previous canine here in Muleshoe, we already own that kennel.
That kennel's still in good shape?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's still owned by the police department.
Okay. Very familiar with it.
Sorry, sir.
I'm very familiar with it, I put it in. And so you've got the vehicle kennel.
Yes, sir.
Any kind of housing kennel going to be required at the PD itself? Or?
We have a housing kennel actually that's sitting in the bullpen there at the police department now. That will actually go to my residence. And that kennel will be there. As far as at the PD, the thing about having a passive dog, lab or top dog, is if I go into the office, that dog goes into the office, and it'll have a spot. They're very highly trained dogs, and it'll have a spot that it goes.
What about the alarm system per se? I don't really know the right terminology here, but the vehicle for overheat.
There is a deal. Matter of fact, I was looking at it today. It's called a hot box, and basically it's an alarm system for the vehicle that it's installed. It monitors the heat inside the vehicle, monitors engine stall, everything like that. And if it gets to the point where a vehicle gets too hot or cold even, it will sound an alarm off. If it's too hot, it's got a dual window control that it rolls the back windows down. And then it also activates the lights and sirens on your vehicle.
When it rolls the windows down, do you have fans on it also? Because I know some do and some don't.
I'm not real sure if this one did or not. I believe it does.
Okay.
But again, it's a tool that's provided to prevent,
Sure.
a vehicle overheating with the dog inside.
And that's included with the initial price, or we're going to be looking
No,
at purchasing
we
that?
haven't. Me and Chief just recently talked about that. It will be, incorporated. If we get enough donations, through the community, then there's a possibility that maybe go ahead and be installed. Otherwise, then I would just have to let Chief and the Lieutenant look at the budget to see if that funds would be available to take care of something like that.
Well, from past experience, said right here, if we go ahead with the program, we need to get it.
But, and I think you're right, but because we're we're looking at different kinds of dogs. The dog that we had that died in the car because he overheated was a dog that could not be taken into the police department.
Exactly.
Because he was an aggressive dog.
Yes.
Where we have a dog here that can be taken into a home, into a school. And,
Absolutely, but there's still a possibility.
Exactly right, and I understand, and of course,
Because
the chief,
personally,
the chief and Officer Edwards were not here when we had, you remember when we had the last dog? We had either dog.
yeah.
But that was certainly,
Tragic.
I guess, yes, to say
Yes,
our
it was.
experience with K-9 in the police department has not been as good as we would like for it to be, certainly to say the least. I think it's a great program. I think it's an asset that we could use. I do want to say that we're talking about getting some donations from the community, and actually the community came forward and offered those donations. We didn't go out and solicit the donations.
There's an initial
This came from the community, which I think tells us that there's an interest out there, and certainly for the ongoing costs that we're looking at, some additional costs that we may not have came across yet, like the hot box.
Well,
So we want to look at it.
on a personal level, I'm in favor of it. I think it's a great tool. I think it'll be, if it's done properly, accepted by the community, by the schools. I really don't anticipate.
Well, and I like the approach that they're coming with, and not only is it for prevention, but the educational aspects.
Absolutely.
That hopefully we can reach youngsters before it becomes an issue.
Right.
Where would this dog come from?
We're looking at Hill Country Dog Center right now in Pipe Creek, Texas. The guy that actually owns the facility, his name is Mike Clemson. And he's a worldwide known trainer. He gets his dogs from various places, all the way from Holland to, he gets some of them from the Czech. I mean, they come from all over the world. I can tell you, just to give you an idea about his dogs, all of Amarillo PD's dogs, Lubbock County SO, Lubbock PD, Holcomb County Sheriff's Office, Brownfield PD, Slayton PD, just to list a few, all their dogs come from Hill Country Dog Center.
And where would you get the training?
They're at the same location. The process, basically the way it works is I go down there prior to the training. It's a 3-week training program. I go down there prior to the training, and they go through what they call a selection process, where he will have anywhere from 5 to 7, 8 dogs. And basically he will pick a dog's personality that fits best with my personality. And then from there, I go down there and I spend three solid weeks training with the dog, doing different types of searches, from open field to vehicle to school to building. Basically, you name it, they train you on it. They go over the obedience part of it, on-leash training, on-leash obedience, off-leash obedience. And basically give you all the tools in that 3 weeks and all the training in that 3 weeks to come back and, actually utilize that dog.
I agree, I think it'd be incredible. And budget-wise, what are we looking at as far as cost, as far as the city goes?
Well, the big cost certainly is the upfront cost, the training and the price of the dog. And we're looking at what, $8,000 to $10,000 probably there. Most of that, I think, has been pledged in donations. So as far as ongoing costs, there again, the food, the vet bills, and I know the chief and I've talked about this, and Officer Edwards mentioned that they're going to try to do most of the training while he's on duty. There will be some training, there will be some overtime for training for various issues. So that would be the cost involved. The additional labor cost, the food, the vet.
Well, and also it says somewhere I read in here about available for surrounding communities. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, that could run into overtime or whatever.
And it could.
And that,
It certainly.
to me, that is negligible. I mean,
Well,
for the
that's.
service it'll provide.
That's a benefit to the surrounding community, certainly, but it's also a benefit, in my estimation, in getting to use the dog, and it's training for dogs.
Absolutely.
Whether it's training or actually doing the work, that dog's honing its skills.
Right.
So,
And you want to take this on?
Yes, sir.
They okay with it?
Yes, sir.
Family support.
that's important.
When I was in the military, I was a handler in the military. Of course, I mean, there is a difference, you know. In the military, you'd kennel them up at 5 o'clock, and you go back and get them the next morning. But, you know, so that aspect of it is different. But yes, I mean, I'm fully pledged to, you know, I was telling Chief the other day, you know, my goal is to take the dog and make it to where an agency calls, you know, they want to call us because they know that dog's, you know, the best in this area. And if it's there, he's gonna find it. And that's my goal, is to get that dog to that point.
Could you share you might have into how you'll go into the school?
I plan on doing programs in the school, awareness as far as how drugs can affect your life and how drugs, you know, basically, just from what I've seen in my law enforcement career, most of your crimes, offenses, at some point will be related back to drugs at some point. And I just want to make the kids aware of it, that the effects of it, what it can cause them, you know, in the long run, and just be seen in the halls. You know, just walk up and down the halls, know that we're there, but at the same time, you know, get with these kids. I did a program probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, at the Catholic Church, drug program, and you know, we got real good. Ran out of time actually, but we got real good rapport from that. A lot of questions were being asked by kids from, and these were 6th, 7th, 8th graders, freshmen, sophomores, all, you know, up to seniors. And you know, they had a lot of good questions, and I even took, you know, some narcotics in there. Of course, you know, when you do that, you have to closely monitor them. But you know, you take them in there and you show them, you know, this is what this is. You see it, stay away from it. You know, just this little much, you know, that little bit can get you locked up, you know, for a long time. And then of course I show them pictures, you know, the older kids, I show them pictures of, you know, the effects of methamphetamines or cocaine or, you know, meth, you know, any of that stuff, ice. And you know, just when they see it, a lot of them have never seen, you know, the effects of it, and they're like, wow, you know, that stuff really does hurt you. And so, you know, my main goal is to educate the kids and hope that, you know, if we help one kid, you know, out of all of them, then we've done good. Hopefully we help more, but you know, if we get one saved out of it, then we've done good.
From the letter that you submitted with your information, your meeting with Dr. Sheets was positive?
It is very positive.
And welcome's coming into the campuses.
Yes.
Alrighty, so that agenda item was the presentation. Our next agenda item is to consider authorizing Chief Rice and the Muleshoe Police Department to implement this narcotics detection K-9 program.
I'll make a motion, we authorize Chief Rice and the police department to implement the K-9 program.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Our next item on our agenda is to approve the order of cancellation for District 2. And Mrs. Goldman, you are in charge of our election, so.
Thank you. We will be, I'll be asking the council to cancel the election for District 2 as that's an unopposed race. will be having the election for District 1. Isidoro Trevino and Colt Ellis both filed for that position. Mayor Pro Tem Mason applied for a place on the ballot for District 2, and that position is unopposed. So at this time, I would ask the council to cancel the election formally for District 2.
Motion that we approve that cancellation.
I'll second it.
Motion to second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My campaign manager is ecstatic. This does not have to do anything. Our next item on the agenda is to receive the financial statement for the month ending February 28th. I'll make a motion that we receive that statement.
I'll second it.
Second, all those in favor? Any discussion or any questions first? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Our next item is a YAC report, but our students are not here. They are on spring break, meaning you are out of town. Our next item is our administrative reports. Mr. Brunson.
Thank you. The EMO quarterly meeting will be held in Lubbock at the Legacy Event Center on March the 28th. We look forward to seeing you there. I'm glad Officer Edwards is here. He's here for another reason, but he and another group put on cause to happen, the 3-on-3 tournament, basketball tournament over the weekend. They are raising funds to resurface the basketball courts at the old tennis courts. And he told me, I think they raised $836 this weekend.
That's great. That's wonderful.
We're glad for that, and we'll work with, we still need to look and see what kind of money we're talking about, what kind of services we can put on there, and a lot of things. But anyway, we do appreciate your efforts in doing that.
Because it does get used. Very much.
And the tournament went real well.
No injuries, no major.
I think only one injury.
One kid got hurt, but it was
That's
nothing
pretty
major,
good.
so.
Pretty good.
Councilman
Thank you for
McElroy
sharing.
participated in the tournament.
Go, Councilman.
Couldn't walk on the same day.
Minor detail,
I
minor
wish you would
detail.
have advertised that because I'd have paid to see it.
It was worth it to observe.
Yeah, Leanne saw it.
I love it. That's
I'm
great.
right
Thank you
on.
so much for doing that.
Video to follow.
For the wastewater treatment plant, I did have some new pictures today. They changed a good bit before we come around and look.
Because I can't.
This is the working parts of the new clarifier, and I have several pictures of that.
Oh, it's better. Thank you. Is that okay? Yes.
Those are the weir around the edge of that, and if you have technical questions, Ramon's here to answer those. I think you'll see that it's a good bit different than what we've seen a couple of months ago, when we missed them. These again are the inner workings. It's my understanding, we talked to the contractor today, and Ramon may have to help me out here. You see, I don't have a pointer. The wipers on the bottom, for lack of a better term, they're gonna come in and put grout on the bottom of that, about 2 inches thick.
Yes, sir.
Where they'll set a tolerance between those wipers and the bottom. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that basically just like a little agitator of some sort?
It just it keeps the sludge stirred off the bottom so it can stay active and keep digesting. They lack that, and factory guys coming out to set the tolerances on the weir. Is that correct? Are there other things that's pretty much,
That's what we're waiting on as far as the clarifier. Start putting water in it.
so they'll probably be putting water in it within 2 weeks anyway, depending on kind of when the factory guy can get out here.
Salty.
That's the biggest bandsaw blade I've ever seen.
It's pretty cool because it's like something that you don't expect to see here. I mean, just all the, from the get-go, from the
You think
beginning,
it is-
before it starts actually working and everything.
Yeah. These are just more pictures. That's the catwalk out to the drive for the all the working mechanisms that's in there. There's a picture of the motor for that drive. Just another angle into that. Y'all will remember when that was just a hole.
How deep is that?
That was, how deep is?
How deep?
That's 10 feet from the bottom of the
Yeah.
weirs. Yes.
So it's 10 feet from the white part there.
Right.
The water flows up through the bottom of this, and we're not concerned yet with this. Comes up to the bottom and then it flows over those weirs down to that trough. And then it'll eventually flow out into the pond, the storage ponds.
So when do you think all this will start working and you put water in all?
Once we put water, we're gonna probably test it for a couple of weeks, make sure it's properly working. And then at that point, we're gonna put this one out of service.
This is the old
That's the old
Really?
clarifier.
So,
No, for, out of service, but they're gonna rehab. We're gonna have both clarifiers.
We'll be operating with
Yes.
two clarifiers.
okay.
Yes.
But this is the old clarifier. This, some pictures of that.
If you see that, the center, that's the weirs on this clarifier versus the other one, they're on the side.
Yeah.
So it's a different setup.
Is that better?
It's a more modern design. As far as operation, probably the same.
And this is just the inlet to, this is the bar stream that catches the bricks, the 2x4s and stuff coming into the plant. Now, is the muffin monster, the grinder pump before this or after?
It actually goes in there.
Okay, then there's a grinder in there. And I signed a change order today to replace it's called a muffin monster. Actually, it's a large garbage disposal that breaks any pieces apart. That was not in the original specs, but when we got to this point, to really complete the project well, we needed to add that. And it was $32,000 addition. I remember we budgeted $1.5 million for this project to come in like 1.2. So we're in good shape there. This is the weir, the meter going into the oxidation ditch. And I don't know, some of y'all been out there and some of you hadn't, so I've got some pictures of the oxidation ditch. And that's what these pictures are. Or a racetrack, if you call it. It's an interesting place. This is this first storage pond where it comes out of the clarifier, it'll go into this storage pond. And then it'll flow out of that storage pond into this one. You can see over on the right-hand side, the water coming in through those pipes there. That's just another picture of that. That's the pump that pumps it from there to town, to the golf course. Then there's the obligatory picture of the screw pumps.
We must see that.
And that's all I've got.
Excellent, thank you so much. That's all of you. Okay, Councilman Parker, McElroy, anything you'd like to say?
Again, thanks for hosting that tournament, it was fun.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
That's great, I mean, that's great. And I love seeing guests. This is awesome, I love that you all are here. You're welcome anytime. A special thank you to the Boy Scouts and Don for bringing them. Hope you learned a little something, and there's a lot that goes on in the city of Muleshoe. A lot of people that put in a lot of effort to make it the great city that it is. So I'm glad you were here to learn. All righty, we have an update on our Dropbox. with our
I know
paperless agenda.
some of you, in our efforts to move to paperless agendas, and the most tool that we think we have is Dropbox. I know, I think Councilman Parker's is working now. Did you get your?
Yeah, it's much easier than
Yeah, I
the
think it'd be-
old-fashioned way.
I
Yeah,
think
if I need
probably-
to get on
probably
board here.
Instead of trying to do this in a meeting, I just need to sit out with you.
That'll work
on-
perfect.
On your iPad.
That would be
The Dropbox working better.
And this is wonderful, going to paperless and just have everything there. I mean, it really has been.
Well, I think it's great for the council, and it's great for staff, but I'm excited about it. It makes everything that you have available to you for this meeting is available to the public.
Anyone. And I mentioned that to some citizens. I said, you know, everything we see, you can see it anytime you want to. It's posted for everybody, and I love that. I do. I really do. Okay, anything else? All right, then this meeting is adjourned, and thank you again for being here.